Happy 4th of July! What's more American than a 1911 and an AR-15? These are about the most iconic American weapons that there are. So of course, on the 4th, on this nation's Independence Day, that's what we're going to be shooting. 100 yards? Love the scope with the offset dot. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical and happy Independence Day. Today is the 4th of July, and I thought that the best way to celebrate that was to celebrate two extraordinary Americans and their inventions, their weapons designs. Those two Americans I'm talking about are John Moses Browning, who designed the 1911, among many other incredible firearms, and of course, Eugene Stoner, inventor of the AR-15. Both of these designs have stood the test of time. The 1911 is literally named for the year that it was put into service, 1911. That is over 100 years ago. The AR-15 is over 70 years old. These are weapons designs that got it right. And these two guys have influenced modern firearm design unmeasurably. And so I thought that the 4th of July was a great opportunity to talk about them, but mainly to talk about the firearms that we all know and love that came from their minds. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical. I think this video is going to be a good one. Eugene Stoner was a great American, father of the modern carbine. So this is going to be a bit of a casual video. It was just, I thought that a great way to celebrate the 4th was to go out shooting. It's something that I do every year. It's become a tradition. And I felt like shooting specifically American guns. Guns that are symbols of the American way of life. And the two that specifically came to mind, especially out of my personal collection, of course, if you've been following the channel, you know how much I love the 1911. It has always been my favorite handgun. And although my favorite handgun to shoot these days is my Springfield 2011 double stack 1911, the Prodigy, that still comes from the 1911 design. But I wanted to shoot an actual 1911 in today's video because that's what we're talking about. And the 1911 has been in service with the US military, I believe, longer than any other sidearm, from 1911 all the way up to like 1986, I think, or somewhere in the mid 80s. My facts might not be perfectly right on, but I know that this gun has been on the side of American soldiers for years. It was in 2 world wars, like everyone always says. The 1911 has influenced almost all other modern handgun design. John Moses Browning, with his tilting barrel design here, a slide that regular modern striker-fired guns come from that same design to be auto-loading pistols. Like, he designed the modern auto-loading pistol. And so every other gun designer, manufacturer owes a little something to John Moses Browning. And even the most modern firearms, like Glocks, very, very popular. I don't think they shoot as well as 1911s. This design has been around for so long, and it is still very, very relevant today. I absolutely love it. 1911s are my favorite pistols to shoot. The grip angle is just right. The sights line up perfectly every time you present, or at least for me they do. And the straight back to the rear single action only trigger makes it so easy to shoot them accurately compared to a lot of other firearm designs. And so it's something that has just stood the test of time, which is one of the things that I think is so cool about it. I used to play guitar a lot back in the day, and I still do sometimes. And it always amazed me that the Gibson Les Paul and the Fender Stratocaster were still two of the most popular guitars in this day and age, and that both of them came from, the 50s and 60s. Well, firearm design is very similar. We have an over centuries old design here, and the other one we're going to talk about today is the AR-15, which was made in the 50s and 60s, like the Stratocaster and the Les Paul. And of course, John Moses Browning's famous design, the 1911. You think we can hit 100 yards with it? I doubt it. Oh, pretty close. Well, that was close. So some of the things that I love about the 1911 is, one, the aesthetics. It is a very good looking pistol. People that aren't even into guns, that don't know anything about guns, this is a recognizable handgun. Everyone knows what a 1911 looks like, even if they don't know that it's a 1911. That's just what they think of when they think of what a pistol should look like. And there's a reason for that. John Moses Browning got it right. He really did. And while modern 1911s definitely have some upgrades compared to, his original design, the trigger's a little longer, it's skeletonized. We've got a skeletonized combat hammer now, longer beaver tail, a memory bump on your grip safety, actually longer safeties, and in fact, a lot of them have ambidextrous safeties now. 1911s have come a long way, especially when you get into 2011s or double stack 1911s. They just take John Moses Browning's timeless design and update it for modern times with a 20 round capacity, and they are extremely reliable. I know a lot of people talk about 1911s like peanut butter and jam. Well, this gun doesn't jam. This gun doesn't either. Although it did when I first got it, I had to do some work for it, and it took a bit of a break-in period, and that's part of the thing with 1911s. The tolerances are tighter than like a Glock. And so you do have to take a little bit better care of them. You have to clean them, lube them more often, and a lot of the times they're going to have a break-in period. But once you get past that point, they're extremely reliable, very accurate, and I'm talking about not just mechanical accuracy, but practical accuracy. Because of that single action trigger, because of the grip angle, because of what you generally get is a long sight radius, things like that, you can shoot these very well. And with the modern versions, being able to put red dots on them, lights, which gives you a little added muzzle weight, especially when you have something like this giant bull barrel there too, it just stays on target extremely well. And they're just guns that are fun to shoot. They make you feel like a better shooter maybe than you really even are, at least for me. So maybe we'll try shooting the pistol at pistol distance. Definitely easier than 100 yards. So now the other iconic American firearm that I wanted to talk about today is of course the AR-15. And this is the most popular firearm in America. And there are so many different versions of it now. And that's one of the things that makes it so popular is the modularity of it and what you can do to it. And while the original design of the AR-15, Eugene Stoner's design, was not really extremely modular, it has been modernized and upgraded over the years to become something, I mean, this is the modern, military weapon. Not really. So an AR-15 is a semi-auto only firearm that civilians are able to own legally, but it is designed very closely to the M16, M4 military firearms. That's not really the point of this video. The point is that our military still uses firearms based on this design so many decades after it was originally, put into service. And to me, that says a lot about the design. And while the aesthetics have changed, these days we have, full-length rails with M-LOK and Picatinny. We have lights mounted on them. We have, LPVOs and offset red dots, magnifiers, and just all kinds of different stuff. You can put different stocks, grips, triggers, foregrips. You can literally make an AR-15 exactly, and I mean exactly, the way that you want it, which is very, very cool to me. But the actual operating system is the same as it's always been. The same bolt carrier design, the direct impingement gas system, where there's a gas block on the barrel, siphons some gas up, down a gas tube, into your bolt carrier group, and that is what cycles your action. The design that Eugene Stoner came up with just works, and it works well. And while some modern versions, they've gone to piston designs and stuff, the vast majority of AR-15s are still direct impingement rifles, and they just plain run. They're extremely reliable. I have 4 AR-15s, and all 4 of them work very well. The only one that I've really had any issues with is my direct blowback AR 9mm, and that's maybe because it's not the original Eugene Stoner design. It's direct blowback. It doesn't have a gas system. It doesn't have feed ramps, M4 feed ramps to feed your rounds into the chamber the same way that, a 223, 5.56, or even a 300 Blackout AR does. And that's another good point there. You can have AR-15s chambered in all kinds of different calibers and rounds, and they're just a really, really fun weapon system and extremely effective. With modern optics, triggers, all these different things, it is not difficult to be very accurate with these. Today was the first day I brought this back out since I've painted it. And in fact, the first day since the winter where I've tried to shoot it at any kind of distance, and we're only shooting to 100 yards today. But still, when I got out there, very first shot at 100 yards, and I hit the target. And that's, I'm not even sure this thing was zeroed, because I took the optics off when I painted it and then remounted them. And without even adjusting my zero and my optics, hit 100 yards first shot. And 100 yards is not anything impressive with an AR-15, but it's just my point is how easy it is to shoot this rifle well. So this is the first time I've taken this rifle out since painted. I'm glad it still works. Nothing better than celebrating the 4th by shooting with your friends. wasn't bad. So the point of this video isn't to go into all of the details about the AR-15 or the 1911. I just chose those to make a different point. And the point is American ingenuity. John Moses Browning and Eugene Stoner and what they came up with that is still totally relevant and extremely popular all these decades later. I just think that's really cool. And I think it's a great way to celebrate Independence Day. So while you're out there barbecuing, lighting fireworks, doing all that, if you can, make it to the range today, because our independence was won with guns. Guns are a part of American history. That's how we became a country. And the Second Amendment is extremely important. And so you need to exercise those rights, because if you don't, then why even have them? So get out to the range, practice, train, shoot your ARs, shoot your 1911s, or whatever else you have. I just feel like being patriotic today. Got the American flag shirt on, shooting my American guns, and I'm enjoying the 4th of July. I hope you are as well. Please subscribe to Sawtooth Tactical, like and share this video. Leave me a comment down below what you think about these two timeless classic weapons designs. Tell me what other designs you think are American classics. I would love to hear from you guys, and I answer every comment. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.